I know you probably can't guess what today's topic is, but what might it be? Prayer. Oh, wow. You're so intuitive. So it's about prayer. Prayer is a gift. So how many of you pray? Okay. Anybody not? Just, it's a church thing. It's a spiritual thing, prayer. So next question. Who do you pray to? You can answer. Who do you pray to? God. The world. Higher power. Spirit. Jesus. There are different answers. That's why I ask, because you might think, well, isn't it obvious? But, we all have different terms of who we're praying to. And where is the God or higher power or whatever that presence is that you're praying to? Where is it located? Everywhere. Inside. Okay, everywhere and inside. Great. And so what do you pray for? Again, your shout-outs are welcome. What do you pray for? Peace, love, freedom, healing, giving and receiving, money, right and perfect outcome, gratitude, peace, clarity, inspiration. So we have a lot of things that we pray for. And just so you know, these were trick questions, and you'll be like, well, what do you mean trick questions? I'll get to that. So next question is, how many of you grew up in either a Catholic or some form of Christian denomination? Oh, pretty much everybody, okay? Anyone just grow up maybe in a New Thought? Okay, there we have a couple. All right. So how many of you were taught that prayer is about asking God to assist with something, and it would be answered if you had enough faith? Right? All righty then. So that's pretty much the norm of our teachings about what prayer is. So here's the thing. The truth is that in prayer, that we are not asking for anything. We are not asking for anything. Now, you have these slips, and it says prayer request. Sounds like you're going to be asking for something. So we're going to move into that a little bit more. And also, you've all perhaps heard the phrase that, what is the phrase? I'm sure I know it, but I can mess it up. So let's let the book make sure that I say it in the correct way, so you don't correct me afterwards. So there's many versions of this, but you may have heard. So I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Now, it says, whatever you ask in prayer. And I just said, you're not asking in prayer. The reason why is because the Greek and Hebrew translation of the word that turned into the word ask does not mean ask. The word originally in Aramaic it meant claim or demand. You're claiming something. You're not asking for anything. Isn't that very good? They're trained, Gene. So, let's see. A book that you all have, I'm sure, and you're reading on a daily, is The 5 Principles by Ellen Davenport. This is kind of the Bible, if we had a Bible, for unity. It is the 5 principles that we believe are work in all places in the world for all people. It doesn't have any religious meaning. It's the universal life principles. So we have something called affirmative prayer. Affirmative prayer is not the hope that things will get better, but the certainty that they are already better. God is already here. Good is already here. We look past appearances. Good luck with that, but we're going to talk about that. Look past the appearances, ignore outer circumstances, and affirm the truth of God in every situation. Okay? I have a saying that if you didn't leave with anything else, you would have this. I like to say, prayer makes us aware of what's already there when we declare. So I'm going to say a line, and then you're going to repeat it. Prayer makes us aware of what's already there when we declare. You're not getting an acronym today. You're getting that little rhyme, okay? That is the thing that I would want you to understand, that it isn't asking for something, and it's already there. She goes on and says, the specific words used in affirmative prayer are not as important as the intention to affirm what already exists, even when we can't see the results yet, and give thanks for it in advance. Okay? Even when we can't see the results, we're giving thanks for something that we can't see. That's really what faith is. When you can be thankful for something that you have no idea how that can be because there's no way that it could possibly be. And yet you say, I am so happy and grateful. And that is the words you hear me say at the end of every service. I'm so happy and grateful now that, and whatever affirmations of truth that I want to use, because prayer isn't about changing anything outside of ourselves. It's not about changing anything at all, to be honest. We think it means it's going to change something. It changes our consciousness, but I'm going to tell you in a few minutes what the actual one and only reason is that we pray, and it may be different than what you have been taught. She goes on says, the attitude is completely positive when you're saying thank you. There is no recitation of the problem and no mention of unwanted outcomes. It's as if we were praying from the other side of the problem. Okay. Where all is well and well-being is assured. We project ourselves into the place of pure positive energy and pray from a consciousness of God, of oneness or alignment. We see the people or situation through the eyes of Source. How many of you see everyone and everything through the eyes of Source? No, not. You might once in a while, when you're having a moment, remembering who we are, and to say that we pray not to something, but from something. When I first learned that, I was blown away, but I totally got it. I am praying from the consciousness of the divine. I'm not seeing it through Liz's eyes. I'm seeing it. How does Spirit see this? Spirit. Jesus, how many people did Jesus heal? Answer is 0. Zip. He didn't see the illness. He saw their wholeness. He saw the spiritual truth. He looked past the appearance, and he saw the spiritual truth that the divine is perfect, whole, and complete. Myrtle Fillmore, co-founder of Unity, and the whole reason you're even here is it's all on her, because she went to a convention in Chicago. She had tuberculosis. She had all kinds of things that were just not working for her. She'd been through all these treatments. Nothing worked. She walked away from that convention that was given by E.B. Weeks, is the man. And he said something, and she walked out of there with the belief. And she was willing to suspend disbelief. If this was true, then what? And she said, I am a child of God. I do not inherit sickness. I am a child of God. You're a child of God. You can't inherit sickness. So how come I'm not feeling good, right? You may ask. Well, because we are not trained in the understanding that we are the divine in expression. Now, she did not immediately have healing happen, but because she switched her brain into I am the divine, and the divine doesn't inherit sickness, which is actually a denial. It's basically saying that's not the truth. And then she started for 2 years speaking truth. She said, my body has divine intelligence in it. It needs direction and love. And so she started speaking words of, she actually did a Ho'oponopono prayer, which is, she probably said to her body, I'm sorry. Please forgive me because I have abused you, thought of negative things about this holy vessel. And then she said, I love you. I love my knees. I love my liver. I love my heart. I love my arms. I love your body and thank it. She did that repeatedly and was completely healed. And her semi-doubting husband saw this change and he went, maybe there's something to this. He started doing the same thing. And sure enough, that he had one leg that was not, it was 2 inches shorter than the other, and he had to walk with a raised heel. And he did this work. His leg lengthened, and he was no longer having to wear the special shoes. So there is, really in truth, only one reason why we pray. Anyone know what that is? Well, wake up. Yeah, it's waking up. There is only one reason, and this is by Reverend Linda Martellowitz, How to Pray Without Talking to God, the other book that I highly, highly, highly recommend. There's a chapter on wholeness, and she says actually in that chapter towards the end that healing and wholeness is what the majority of prayers are for. And she talks about it and gives a different viewpoint on that. She says, we pray for one reason and one reason only. We pray to claim and assert our divine identity. That's what Myrtle Fillmore did. I'm a child of God. So are you. You are the divine in expression. You haven't been told that, and you probably don't see yourself 100% of the time as such. We pray to claim and assert our divine identity so that we can live more fully from it. We pray so that we may embody divine nature. This type of prayer is affirmative prayer. If I recognize that I am the divine in expression, you recognize you're the divine in expression, and you look at what aspect of the divine you would like to experience more of. Maybe it's peace. Maybe it's more harmony and love or wholeness. We recognize, the divine is love, wholeness, and peace. And because I'm made in the image and likeness, my divine identity is that I'm a being of wholeness or love or peace or all the things that we pray for. You're already that. You are already the thing that you are seeking to have. And when you can claim that and to own it, and see, prayer isn't about asking, it's about accepting. Take away the asking. I'm accepting the truth for myself. I'm accepting it repeatedly because I might have a different way of looking at things. Because here's the truth. It's done unto you as you believe. And what is a belief? It's a thought that I hold to be true. A thought I hold to be true, and it may not even be true. Wonder why they call it new thought? It's new thought because if I have a new thought, and it's not just a thought, it's adding the feeling. The feeling is the fire to our prayers. When you're having prayer, it's not just to say the words. We say words. It's not about the words. It's about the intention that we set. And to feel as if it was already so. How do you feel when you know that your prayer is answered? You feel happy, joyful, grateful, yippee-doo, right? You're happy. And that's the whole thing, is you want to have a higher vibration, because every one of your thoughts is a vibrational thought that is creating your feeling. Byron Katie doing the work. If you know any of her work, you can look it up. But it's all about your thoughts create your feelings. So it starts here. That's why we use words to help create the feeling, to feel as if it was already so. And therefore, I'm vibrating at a higher level when I start to imagine and pretend, even so, that it's already happening. And I feel that, and my vibration goes up. We're here to raise the vibration. That's what prayer does. It's here to assist us in having a higher vibration. The healing sessions that are happening on the first and third Sundays, those are actually prayer, because it's raising the vibration to the truth. And our prayer healers are looking at you as the divine and helping remember who you are when you have forgotten, when I have forgotten. We forget who we are. It's all about remembering. Jesus, our great way shower, how did he remember? He went out, he withdrew from the crowd. He withdrew from the crowd to realign his consciousness with the divine. It's not in this book, it's in the other one, but I already know what it is. I don't need to read it to you. So he went away so that he could center himself. I'm the divine. You're the divine. We are all the divine. Then he could come back and be with the people and see the truth of them instead of the appearance. And that's why healing happened, because he went beyond the appearance. And he was so convinced of the others, of the truth of them, that their doubt just dissolved because he was so knowing. He's like, get up and walk. And they got up and walked. It's like, I've been laying here for 40 years. He was like, no, get up and walk. And they got up and walked because his conviction was so strong. Now, that's what we aspire to do. Now, how many of you have a really easy time knowing the truth for yourself or someone else when they are struggling? When there is illness, how can you sit there and go, I'm perfect, whole, and complete, and I feel terrible. My body is hurting. I have a disease of some sort. How do I manage that? How do I know the truth when I'm in the middle of the forest and all I can know is my circumstance? Well, that, my friends, is when you go to one of your prayer practitioners. It is vitally important, as much as you need to eat and drink and breathe air, is to have prayer. Prayer makes you aware of what? When you, right? So, I am having an issue. I can go to Sharon or Rob or Debbie Bryant or Christine and say, this is my issue. I'm having this struggle with my health, with my relationship. And they're going to say, what would you love instead? And they, because they're not in the middle of my situation or not feeling my low vibration, they can know the truth of and for me. They can know that I'm the divine in expression, experiencing a low vibrational thing. And they, because there's a part of me that is the divine, they will raise up my vibration by them knowing the truth of and for me. Even a minister needs prayer. I have a prayer partner every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and I have 3 other partners that we have a group prayer every Thursday. Prayer is a necessity. I can't be here unless I had those folks doing prayer with me and I was doing prayer for them. I highly, highly, highly encourage you to have a prayer practitioner, especially when you don't need one. Think we're like, well, everything's good. I've heard that. Oh, all is good. And 5 minutes later, I'll just say, you have any prayer requests? They are probably going to say yes. But we always want to say, I'm fine. It's all good. You all have prayer requests, but it's not a prayer request. This is a new one, and that's why we're going to do this exercise now. It's a prayer intention. It is not a request. You all have this sheet of paper that is in the seat in front of you that I hope I don't set the place on fire with. That was good. And folks at home, in the cyber sanctuary. You don't have this particular sheet, but get a sheet of paper, and I want you to write, and for those in the sanctuary, on the side where it says prayer request, cross out word request and write the word intention or revealment. I always said it was a prayer revealment, but Linda Martellowitz says she never sees anything as a request. They're not asking for something. They have an intention to experience well-being, health. So you have two sides. Here's your gratitude side and your prayer intention side. I'm going to invite you to write the words at the top of your prayer intention side and say, I'm so happy and grateful now. I'm so happy, because that's a feeling, and grateful, because we're giving thanks in advance. And I like the word now, because it's telling us now. And we're now going to take a minute for whatever your prayer, quote, request was, to say it as an intention. I'm so happy and grateful now that, and then you fill in what it is you would love to have, or for someone else, what you would love for them, as if it was already so. I'm so happy and grateful. You may continue to write, but I want to complete our time together. Those in the cyber sanctuary and any one of you at any time can send me your prayer intention. And by the way, when I receive these prayer intentions, what I do is I go, yes, so grateful. It is so. It is done. That's how I do it. I just like going, this is divine. The person who wrote this prayer intention is the divine, and this is already answered, okay? It's all thank you. On the other side, it says gratitude and blessings. Here's the truth. The whole thing is gratitude and blessings. Both sides of this piece of paper are gratitude and blessings, because it's all gratitude. If the only prayer you ever said was thank you, it would be enough. To give thanks for what is and what has not yet come to be, and to accept it, and suspend your disbelief, not needing to know how this happens. It's not your department to know how anything happens. Your department is to say what it is, and let Spirit do its part in bringing it forth. There is a part of this book, I'm not going to go into it, but the 5 principles, you all have it, you're all reading it. If you don't, please get it. On page 101, it talks about, yes, but why pray for others? It says some things that might amaze you about when you pray for someone else, what that really means. So, check this out. Get yourself a prayer practitioner. Our prayer practitioners are going to be available after services, and we have started, one of the ways that they are choosing, some of them are choosing to serve, is there is a monthly prayer practitioner call request. We used to basically require, and I'll even use the word demand, that our people were always going to do that with every person who is a member. That wasn't really the way to continue. Spirit said, if you want to have a prayer practitioner call on a monthly basis, put that on this piece of paper. It'll be out in the foyer. And the other thing is, at the bottom of that prayer revealment slip, there's a little box. If you would like to have one of our brand new or very great new prayer practitioners make a call to you, you can do that. It just doesn't have to be every month, but you can have that whatever week you put the check mark and make sure that we can read your name and your phone number. Breathe. And let us give thanks. Let us give thanks for all that is and that is now coming forth, because you have set it down as an intention. And it's all thank you. Right, Gene? And he said yes. And so it is.